Hello there. Welcome to Blitz Transmissions. I'm Tommy, and welcome to episode 2 of the Blitzcast. Before we get into any content in this episode, let's first cover the housekeeping. First and foremost, make sure to check out my social media. All the links are in the description below, that being right now for my Instagram, my collection page on Instagram, Blitz Bounties, and the brand new Discord. The Discord's been out for about a week or two now. If you want to share some suggestions on how I can make it better, improve it a little bit, or if you'd like to join it and yap a little bit with some other Star Wars fans, join that Discord. Today, I have not Jen with me, but I do have my younger brother, Logan, aka Cheesy Napkin 33.
The cheesiest napkin, if you will.
Logan, how we doing? How have things been?
Dude, things have been amazing.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Finally put my shelf together, man. I wake up every day, see all them troopers.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Very nice. So, Logan is my skibbity little brother, for those who don't know. And he is a lifelong Star Wars fan, as I have been, as our father has been. And he's been a lot less intolerable as he's gotten a little older. And I feel like now he's to the point where he can hold a conversation for an entire podcast. Have you ever been on a full podcast?
Nope.
Ever?
I've only ever done short form.
Short form content. Yeah, well, welcome to the Blitzcast number 2.
Yeah.
And Logan, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your Star Wars journey, and I'll correct you when you're wrong.
All right. Well, you're going to have to do a lot of correcting. All right. So, ever since I could remember, breathing, Star Wars has been my thing. My dad got me into it. Tommy got me into it. It's just always been something that's important in my life, and it's never been something I've disliked. And obviously, this is going to be one of the topics. I want to share what I think about my generation of Star Wars. It is very different from what you hear normally on these shows, as everyone's older, and I'm starting to get a little older, so it's actually very exciting to share with everyone my view, because I know it's a very sensitive topic with a lot of these newer things.
Yeah, that's something that I'm actually really excited to talk about with you, is, you know, the perspective of the next generation. Because, I mean, similarly to what you just said, when I was a kid, I didn't even know that the prequels were hated because the internet wasn't as central to life as it is now.
Yeah.
20 years ago. But yeah, when I was growing up with the prequels and the Clone Wars, I didn't even know that the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones were generally hated. I didn't know that Ahsoka was generally hated from the Clone Wars movie. I didn't know, and I was blissfully ignorant to that. Whereas you, especially growing up with, someone like me who's so involved on the online aspect of the Star Wars fandom, you've had to kind of deal with a lot more of and hear a lot more of the drama that goes on, the cringe, as we call it, with the Star Wars fandom. Before we get into all that, I did just want to take a moment here and kind of have a moment of silence, a moment of remembrance for James Earl Jones, who passed away just this past week. James Earl Jones passed away. He was the voice of Darth Vader from all the way back from the original trilogy. He was always the voice of Darth Vader. Some of you guys might know him as the voice of Mufasa as well in The Lion King. He's had a ton of different roles throughout the decades. He died at 93 years old. So I just wanted to say, amazing, sincere thank you to such an iconic voice for the most iconic villain in all of film history.
Literally.
There is no one more iconic than Darth Vader. Everyone in the world knows who Darth Vader is, even people who haven't seen Star Wars.
Well, he's from Fortnite.
No, Darth Vader, the guy from Fortnite.
Yeah, everyone's from
Fortnite. Everyone knows Darth Vader. So I just want to make a sincere thank you to James Earl Jones for his work on that role. And, thank you for the amazing gift that you've given to the Star Wars fandom. But yeah, do you have any thoughts on that, or just moving on?
Not really, man. I was really upset to hear it, though.
Yeah.
It was just a surprise. Came out of nowhere.
It did. It really did. But yeah, 93 years old. He lived a very, long, good life.
Fulfilled.
Yes, yeah. And he'll be immortalized forever with the role of Darth Vader. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about some skibbity Star Wars, if you will. So I remember, I think I mentioned it last week on the podcast, that we watched the first like season of Rebels together.
Yep,
do you even remember that? You would have been like 3 or 4 when that came out.
I do, actually. I feel like I've always remembered Rebels. And by the way, guys, Rebels is what got me into Star Wars. I know it's a very sensitive topic where people are like, Clone Wars is the best thing ever and prequels are the best thing. No, you don't have to be a bandwagon with that. I would recommend watching Rebels as your first show, but if you want to go in chronological order, it's a different story, but it's just such a good show. It's very underrated, in my opinion, too, because a lot of people dislike it or just won't watch it.
Yeah.
And they're missing out. It's got great art styles, great story, great fight scenes, too.
Mm-hmm. They brought in some great characters with that show, too. I remember, though, when that show was coming out, I was still a little bit bitter about the Clone Wars being canceled on Cartoon Network. So I think I just had a little bit of an aversion to that show just right off the bat. I just feel like it didn't grab me as much. But, I mean, clearly it grabbed your attention a lot more.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, dude.
So what was your first Star Wars movie in the theaters?
Force Awakens. Or no, wait. Yeah, that came out before all the other movies, right?
Yeah. You'd have been, what, 5? Yeah.
I remember we went to McDonald's. I got the Happy Meal. I got Finn. And I ended up having Kylo, too, because we went there several times. But I remember, then we went straight there. It was like, the second night it was out, it was ridiculous. It was like, from that point on, I've never seen Star Wars in a big theater setting. And I've always dreamed of it. Like, what would be the experience? Like, it's just such a unique thing. And I really hope that they make a lot more movies in the future so other people can experience that. It's such a magical thing.
So, seeing The Force Awakens, I guess we should just dive right into it. What are your personal thoughts on the sequel trilogy being the trilogy that your generation kind of grew up with?
You'll be surprised, I'm not a sequel trilogy glazer, but I also don't think it's the worst thing like a lot of you neckbeards say it is. I know you're all going to be crying your eyes out. You gotta just admit, it's not that bad, dude. If anything, I feel like Acolyte's probably been the worst Star Wars thing created, that I've seen at least, but like, I don't overhate it. I don't think there's a reason to overhate things. But anyway, for Force Awakens, we'll go through all the movies. I mean, I think it's the best sequel movie. It's just such an entertaining movie, and it's not even glazing for just this first one I've seen in a theater. It's genuinely entertaining, and it set up a very good story that they just didn't build on. And I was very disappointed that they didn't do that. But they really just set it up nice. I mean, if it was like you saw it how I did, where it's like you didn't even know these other movies were coming out or like what they'd be about or their titles even, you were very excited for the next one, and all you could think is give me more. You got introduced to all these cool, unique characters. I still think the scene with Finn escaping is probably one of my favorites.
Really?
Yep. And I remember playing the Lego Star Wars Force Awakens game. That game was the first game to give me gamer rage, but it was so fun because I was like, oh my god, it's one of the movies I've seen and I get to play it in Lego, because I was a little kid. I mean, a lot littler than I am now, but like, I loved Legos and I loved Star Wars and I loved video games. All those three things together made my brain explode.
Anyone who is a boomer and doesn't, is a little bit older and doesn't understand what Logan's saying, the word glazing is another term for like blindly complimenting,
yes,
or just being biased,
overly loving something.
Positively biased towards something.
To the point where it might be seen a little fruity, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh my god.
That can go in, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, the sequel trilogy, I remember, because I was in high school when that came out. And it, honestly, I got sucked into, specifically like when Episode 8, The Last Jedi, came out. I got really sucked into that negative side of the Star Wars YouTube. And I kind of like, and the social media. And I was really like believing all of the cringe that came with that. Now, like or dislike the movie, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I was in that, like, I don't know, almost like militaristic, like going to war, saying like it's objectively bad. It's objectively bad.
Nice Star Wars theory impression.
But it's just, over the years, I've really become, I guess maybe part of it is over time, you get a little less emotional about how you feel about stuff, because Star Wars is very important to me. So if I'm not happy with how something went, I can understand getting feeling like it's a personal attack because you have such an attachment to the fandom and to the franchise. And so when something doesn't go the way that you think it should have gone, I completely understand feeling like it was a personal attack on you as a fan. However, I just have come to realize as I've gotten older and as I've become more mature that that's just not the case. That's not really... The corporation that's trying to make money off of this franchise and make money off of the fans is not trying to drive away the fans.
That would be very stupid of them, and I don't know why people think that.
They do make some dumb decisions.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here's another one. I know you said you're not a fan of The Acolyte, but what are your thoughts on them saying, no, we're not doing a season 2?
I think it was... That's a tough one, because I think about it very weirdly. If season 1 was good enough, I would have been okay with it. The way that season 2 they got rid of it was stupid. Everyone just over-hated, and that's why it got rid of. It wasn't just, a choice by them because season 1 was good enough. It wasn't. I feel like season 2 really could have redeemed the show, and nobody just let it, marinate. And it's very confusing and mind-numbing to me. But once again, I understand everyone has their own takes on Star Wars, but it just seems like you're regurgitating a lot of what Star Wars theory says.
Yes, and just give me one moment if you want to just keep yapping real quick, because I forgot that the Black Series STAP just went up for order 10 minutes ago. I forgot to buy one, so I'm working on that right now.
Can't wait till Hybrid Tour Reviews buys 8 of them.
It's a limit of 2 per customer.
Oh, he'll make a bunch of counts.
Yes.
So no shots to you, Hybrid. We all love you. No homo, though, because I know you're very sus. So... More to say on Acolyte? I mean,
What didn't you like about The Acolyte?
I feel like it's very easy to say. I mean, it's just the story didn't tickle my fancy. I know it's a very British way to say it.
It didn't tickle my fancy, he said.
That's just the only way to put it. I mean, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't not enjoy it. It was, very confusing. I don't really care about it. If it was there, I'd probably not really watch it. I mean, I wouldn't run away in fear and scream and cry because it's The Acolyte, oh my god! But, I mean, it's I don't know, man. It was really disappointing. I was really excited for the show, and it's I really, really, really think they could have just done so much, and it reminds me of what they did with the sequel trilogy. They rushed everything, and they didn't get enough story out to make it good. They really could have made it a good show. They had interesting characters. I don't care what you think. They did. Kalnaka, Wookiee Jedi, immediately interesting. Soul had a very good story. Space Dream, the one Jedi that nobody knows his name, Torben. Yeah. He's, I don't know. He thought I was really angry with him, but I don't know. It's just, there were so many unexplained things, and it's, Plagueis showing up. I know it's a big conversation, especially around the show. Dude literally just merges around the corner like EDP looking for his cupcake, and then you just never see of him again. They really could have built on him. Also, guys, I'm sorry. Grimace is giving me brain rot powers, but you're gonna have to cut out some of that, right?
No, I'm not cutting out anything.
Really?
Yeah, no, this is a podcast.
You're not cutting out this part right now.
No, this is gonna be in the podcast.
Well, guys, I suck. So, I don't know, man. There's so much to, think about when it comes to that show. Because people have very mixed opinions, and, you normally would just think it's all hate. Really, it's not. I've seen a good amount of people defending the show. I think where they went wrong, they had everyone's interest, even the haters' interest, when they had this amazing fight scene where everyone just dies. You just don't expect it to happen. That was the first time in a while from Star Wars that my jaw was just dropped. They just killed my boy Yord. They made Jecki into Swiss cheese. I don't know what happened. It's just everyone got murdered.
The entire supporting cast.
Dude.
Dead.
I love seeing a strong Sith. That made me so happy to see a strong Sith like that.
Yeah.
And then they just don't build on it.
You know,
they make him like love Osha, and then that's it. Plagueis is just spying on them as they hug each other in the sunset. It's not Rogue One.
And that's why I think the show would have really benefited from a second season. Because, like it or not, they could have at least tried to improve upon the lackluster parts of the story. Like I know I've said on record several times that I'm just not a fan of the Osha May dynamic because I didn't care. They never got me to care about either of them. Other than like, but they're the same person. But it's like, but I don't care about either of them. So like, how am I supposed to care now that they're like, you find out they're basically the same person?
Yeah.
I think the show could have really benefited from a second season.
It could have been.
It just annoys me that really just annoys me that...
Immediate blame of Hasbro.
It really annoys me that Lucasfilm jumped ship on it.
Yeah.
So what are some things about Star Wars that because I know at the beginning you were like, I kind of want to share my opinions on what it's like to be in my generation of the fandom.
It's a very interesting generation that I grew up in. It's like, I'm happy I'm not an OT nerd, and I'm also like a little disappointed that I was like barely on the edge of like prequel. I was like right in the middle, kind of. So like, I don't hate anything. The way I was raised, I love the OT and I love the prequels. I do think the OT isn't as good as the prequels. I know some of the people that you've been chatting to might get a little upset with me for that one. But, I mean, it's just like, I don't understand why people hate stuff. You're supposed to like the thing, and you say you like it proudly, but then you hate on it. I don't understand. It's like, I'm in middle school, so I can say this. When people are just fake, they talk to you about you, like, they're really nice to you, and then they'll stab you in the back. It's like, what is this? I thought we were cool. But it's just, like, it loses me there. Like, I can understand disliking something in the fandom that you're a part of. Like, Halo. I think Halo Reach is the best. I don't think Halo 3 is good. I know every Halo fan is screaming and crying and pooping their diapers. But, like, you gotta understand, you can't like everything in a fandom. Like, I can understand, like, back to Star Wars, I said, like, you're supposed to like everything in a fandom. You're also supposed to dislike it. You're never expected to like everything. Everyone's different. But when you start over-hating and bullying actors, like, bullying people that enjoy it, that's where you got me lost, man. I just can't with that.
Yeah, that's also kind of where I kind of get lost, and I think that it's interesting to see how like the cycle is repeating itself right now.
Yeah,
because you have people that are between like my age, which is like mid-20s to like mid-30s.
Yeah,
that grew up with the prequels and the Clone Wars. Maybe it's because some of us are too young to remember it, but when the prequels were coming out, Ahmed Best, who played Jar Jar Binks, got harassed and bullied so much that he attempted suicide.
I did not know that.
Yeah, over the role. Jake Lloyd, who played little Anakin, ended up having some like mental health issues later on in life. I don't know directly if that's because of he got the bullying he received.
I think it is
because of the films. I think it had something to do with it. Hayden Christensen, got just blown to pieces by critics and people in the fandom for, how he played Anakin Skywalker. And now we're repeating the cycle, and I don't think it's necessarily all the same group of fans. Because there are like people who are original trilogy purists that, they don't like anything that isn't the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Fine. That's your what's the word I'm looking for? That's your preference?
Yeah.
Whatever. But there's definitely a lot of fans now that are prequel enjoyers and grew up with the prequels that go out of their way to hate on, like, whether it's Leslie Headland, the director of the writer for The Acolyte, or whether it's the actors that played in The Acolyte, the guy who played Yord said that Anakin blew up the Death Star and not Luke, like, in an interview. Okay, who really cares? He's an actor. He doesn't need... I was about to say this. Yeah. When you're acting, you don't need to know everything. No.
I mean, I know it's a pretty, like, basic thing to know.
Yeah.
But, like, you still have to watch a movie to know that. Like, what if he just never watched the movies and he got invited to do the, like, thing? He was like, oh, Star Wars is a big name. I want to be a part of that. I want to get my name known. Like,
yeah. While I think it's cool when actors know a lot about the lore, like actors like Sam Witwer,
yeah.
or, you know, people like Dave Filoni who are, like, obsessed with Star Wars. I think that's awesome and I appreciate that. But it's okay to just be a talented actor or just an actor at all and be offered a role for Star Wars but not know anything about the universe. I don't think that it should be a requirement to play in Star Wars that you should know every piece of lore about every piece of Star Wars media. That's just, it doesn't need to be a prerequisite. Back to my other point, I think it's interesting that we're kind of in this weird cycle where I'm seeing a lot of people that are people who grew up with the prequels and the Clone Wars that are, like you said, over-hating.
Yes.
Going out of their way to find any way that they can bring up the Acolyte or the sequels, or, you know, I see a lot of hate for, like, Book of Boba and Obi-Wan, and it's like, dude, you're being the exact same type of fan that hated on the media that we like and that that we glaze all the time.
You went from the defender to the offender.
You become the very thing you swore to destroy.
Yeah. Never do that again.
I don't know, man. It really rubs me the wrong way. That being said, you don't have to like everything, like Logan said.
Yeah, literally you don't.
You really don't have to like everything, and it's okay to dislike stuff, but when you're going out of your way to mention it all the time, it sucks the fun out of it for other fans. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with people where the first thing they find out I like Star Wars, the first thing they want to do is mention, well, what'd you think of Acolyte, the garbage? I'm like, dude, there is so much that we could talk about right now when we're talking about Star Wars.
And you're choosing to talk about this.
And you already have a script, a whole monologue prepared in your head that you're just going to dump on me with just a bunch of points. I think I mentioned it on the last episode of the podcast. Were you playing Xbox with us that night when that one guy joined and was like, yeah, I don't know anything about Star Wars, but, you know, I think Disney really killed the franchise.
I don't think so.
Dude, that's what he said.
Oh my God.
He's like, well, you know, I'm not really, like, deep into the lore and stuff, but, like, why do you guys, like, defend the show like The Acolyte? 'Cause it's, like, killing the franchise. And I was like, dude, I don't even necessarily like The Acolyte. Like, I think it's a fine show.
Yeah.
I just wasn't personally a fan of it. So I don't know. But again, it's like people make statements and ask questions assuming something about the person they're talking to. And I guess that's a bigger issue with fandoms in general. And I see it with Marvel. I see it with
Marvel's way more toxic.
Transformers. And I could say any fandom. We're all nerds, bro.
I've heard Warhammer's pretty bad.
Warhammer, I don't know much about that fandom. So
Me neither, but I remember, like, Evan, he was talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
He said it was bad.
Yeah.
Which just, it blows my mind to think that you're gonna say you enjoy something and then just constantly poop on it, man. Like, I know I said this exact thing earlier. I don't expect you to like everything. I don't expect you to hate everything, obviously. But, like, come on, man. Just say you don't like it anymore.
Have some enjoyment.
Try something else.
Have some enjoyment in anything.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm getting at.
You have free will, dude. Go outside.
Dude, there's so much I don't care for or don't like about The Acolyte. There's a lot of stuff I didn't like about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. For me personally, as a fan.
That's a spicy thing I have to talk about later, too.
And I'm like, but at the same time, there's so much I do enjoy. And there's so much I'm happy about. So,
can I talk about Obi-Wan?
Talk about Obi-Wan.
And Book of Boba.
Tell me about it.
I think those are very sensitive topics in the Star Wars community. Obi-Wan Kenobi made me very happy. It fulfilled the things I wanted to see, like, pretty much immediately after, like, everything happens. Like, Obi-Wan just went into hiding, like, recent in that show. I think that people didn't like it because, like, obviously, like, I don't think Reva is the best character either, but, like, you can't hate an entire show for one character. I get she was, like, a very important, prominent character. But, dude, Get over it. There's other episodes, and there's amazing scenes. You can't tell me you didn't get upset or at least tear up when you saw Anakin, like, literally Anakin, not Vader, talking to Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't tell me it wasn't one of the best fights ever.
It was a great fight. It really was. That's exactly what I mean, though. Like, as a big collector, I still bought all of the Acolyte figures. I'm still going to buy all the Acolyte figures that come out because there's a lot that I did enjoy. Like, kind of you were saying, the 5th episode of that show was amazing.
Literally.
Them killing the entire supporting cast. I remember, like, I was hooting and hollering watching it for the first time, and I have gone back multiple times just to watch that one episode.
I haven't. I can't rewatch stuff.
Dude, if I can get action figures from everyone in that scene, I'm here for it. I'm going to buy them. If I can get action figures, I have the Jedi Master Indara, because the fight between her and May was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was a great way to kick off the series.
Until
and it really
Bro
drew
just
me in.
died.
Until she died. But same with Obi-Wan. I still bought all the figures from the Obi-Wan series, and because there's so many good moments in that show.
Yeah, literally.
I think a perfect case in point here goes back to kind of, we're talking about the generational thing.
Yes.
Prequel fans, dude. Prequel fans. You want to talk about glazing? People my age glaze the prequel trilogy way too hard.
It's worse with the Clone Wars, dude.
But the Clone Wars is actually good.
It's actually good, but I think they just, like, only think it's the only good show. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. I love that show. To my grave, I will defend every single episode. Even Bombad Jedi, I like that, dude.
Misa eyeball stuck in the sleeve!
Dude, I don't care. I will always love that show. And it's not even glazing, it's just what I grew up with.
Yeah.
And it might seem like I'm glazing, actually, now I'm saying it. But, like, it's kind of hard to explain. You learn to love stuff for what it is instead of picking it apart and learning to not love it anymore.
Yes, you just hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what... And honestly, like, because my brother and I, there's a 10-year age gap between us.
Yeah.
And Logan has really helped me to appreciate things about Star Wars that I probably otherwise wouldn't appreciate as much. Because he has that different perspective. I think it's very important that as a fandom, Star Wars fans try to talk to each other a little more.
Yeah.
And when you find things that you both enjoy and that you agree upon, it becomes a lot easier to become understanding about things that maybe one of us doesn't like so much. That's where I'm coming from.
Oh, real quick. Ahsoka, too. I think that's a show.
Ahsoka series, Jen and I just finished rewatching that series. That show is amazing, bro.
It
that
makes
show's
me
amazing.
so upset when I hear people dislike that show.
I know, right?
That was probably one of the most fun watches we've had in a while. I don't even know what they're finding to dislike. For my age, you would think I'm very stupid. I watch TikTok a lot. You'd think I have a short attention span. I'm quite the opposite.
No, he's not.
Really...
No, he's not.
Logan
is a skibbity schizo.
It's time to stop with the brain rot. You're going to give everyone over the age of 30 early Alzheimer's. It's time to stop. But, I mean...
Oh, wait, one more thing.
My next Willbone to pick. You need the context to that. And Tommy's on his phone again.
The group chat's going crazy right now. I just need to see what they're talking about.
I'm going to keep talking so I can keep you guys interested and that we don't end up like a different show. So, yeah, like, the episodes where it took place, when they were in, like, the one domain or whatever, like, they were with Thrawn, I was so interested, man.
Yeah.
Just seeing Balin, to fulfill himself and feeling like Shin Hati finally becomes a leader. Like, if you didn't see what both of them wanted from early on in the show, you did not pay enough attention. You need to rewatch the show. It was very easy to tell that Shin Hati wanted to become a leader, and she did that. She was a very good leader. Balin just wanted to find peace within himself. He felt as if he accomplished everything he wanted to. There was nothing else. He is happily there. And then here's, like, the spicy thing. With Ezra and Sabine, and the very hot take of the show, Sabine using the Force and not dying from the lightsaber strike. I will say I dislike how lightsabers, they kind of feel like they lost their lethality anymore. But at the same time, like, just stop being realistic, man. I mean...
Yeah, we're in the same universe where, like, there's laser swords and
people
and
have
the
chips
Force.
in their brain and just shot everyone. I mean, there's a little green dude with a ball sack head, so, I mean... And he does backflips and almost kills people. He's one of the strongest characters ever. I mean, like, it's just ridiculous. And you gotta realize it's fiction. That's why you enjoy it, because it's a fun fiction thing.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be real. If you want real, go watch, like... Well, Saving Private Ryan, it's not really real, is it?
It's based on... I mean, it's
based
real
on a real
world.
story.
Like, it's real world.
Well, yeah, but, like, you guys get what I'm saying. Like, if you want real, actually a better one would be All Quiet on the Western Front. Watch that. It's realistic. It's very, very realistic.
Yeah.
I don't think fiction is for you if you start to feel that way. I get it, as you get older, you tend to not like the silly stuff. Sometimes people do. Sometimes there's weird, funny grandpas and grandmas. I get that. But, like, it's just, like, you gotta realize it's for an intended audience. It's not for everyone. But, like, it's meant for a lot of people. But not every single person on the planet.
Star Wars is not meant for neckbeards by themselves.
Not at all.
Star Wars has always been a family venture, and it's always been meant for everyone, like all audiences to enjoy.
Yes.
While I like shows like Andor that are very serious and very grounded,
there's Resistance that exists.
There's also Star Wars Resistance. There's Bombad Jedi.
Dude.
In the same show as the Umbara arc. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't
it's
even
the
want to hear it, dude. Bombad Jedi is fire.
No, I'm saying I enjoy it just as much as I enjoy the dark and serious stuff. Because it's okay to find enjoyment in things. You know, it doesn't... You don't need to prove that it's, like, cool and, like, badass all the time. Like, it's okay that it's supposed to have some levity to it. That's how all storytelling is, especially fictional storytelling. With the Ahsoka series, in that rewatch, dude, there were multiple times I got emotional watching that show again on a rewatch. It wasn't just the initial shock of the first watch through, like... When Ahsoka first sees Anakin in the World Between Worlds, when she sees Force Ghost Anakin in the very end of the show, like, there are just so many just amazing moments in that show.
You look old.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That, especially on the rewatch, I think Ahsoka, as far as the live action shows, is top 2 for me right now.
That's wild.
I think it's honestly that and The Mandalorian.
We're talking about live action exclusive, right?
Yeah. Okay, that and The Mandalorian keep kind of flip-flopping for me as to which one I like more.
Nothing beats The Mandalorian
but dude,
for me, man.
Ahsoka might be there, man. Some days, like, I'm sit there and I'm like, Ahsoka is just so good, though.
Okay, but hold on. You need to look at it this way. Mandalorian's had a lot more episodes and a lot more seasons. Yep. It's overall better. There's so much more content. It's overall better. I feel like if Ahsoka got a lot more content, I don't really think it could.
Ahsoka Season 2 is locked in, though. It's 100%, like, Ahsoka Season 2.
I don't think there'd be a Season 3 after that, though.
No. So, we got the tease at the end of Season 1.
Yeah.
Baylan is standing on the statue of the father.
Yeah.
And the father's pointing. We see that you can see the son... And then the daughter, her head is chopped off, the big stone sculpture.
Yeah, I know.
Because Ahsoka's there, I think, that's why. And it's pointing at a light. Baylan, the whole time, is like, I want to find a way to end the cycle, basically to destroy everything. Abeloth is a concept from Star Wars. I forgot her name,
I understand it.
From Star Wars Legends. I think Baylan is on his way to go find Abeloth, and I think that's why the Ahsoka and Sabine are left there. Because they have to stop Baylan from unleashing Abeloth into the galaxy again.
That is exactly what is happening.
I'm really glad they decided to make the call to recast Baylan Skoll. What are your thoughts on that?
Max Rebo experience. That's you, dude. I'm telling you, if there is anyone out there, it is you. You look exactly like him, bruh.
Bro's got to go to the casting call.
Literally.
Got to go to the casting call. But what are your thoughts? I'm really excited that they decided not to go the deepfake route and to just recast him because he's a very, very central character to this story.
Dude, I'm so happy that, like, anything with Baylan Skoll in it, he's such a unique character. Like, you really feel like you just got introduced to him in the show and you just feel like you've known him forever. Yep. You feel like he's a Clone Wars character or something. Like,
yeah.
You always will know him. I don't know, man. It's just like, here's my take. He reminds me of Anakin. Shin Hati reminds me of Ahsoka.
Interesting, because I don't feel that way.
Tell me why.
In watching the show, I think that...
Like an evil version of them.
Yeah, no, I don't see it. I don't know who they exactly remind me of, but I think ultimately Shin's going to go with Ahsoka and Sabine.
I think she will.
Because there was kind of that moment where she hesitates, Ahsoka kind of reaches her hand out to her after they fight, and then she kind of just runs away.
Because she realizes that, like, even Baylan, like, neither of them really want a lot of violence. They just want peace.
Baylan thinks, though, that the solution is destroying everything.
Yeah, if you guys watch Naruto, it's like the infinite Tsukiyomi with the Akatsuki. That's their infinite, like... So basically, like, it just makes everyone, like... It's kind of hard to explain. In a dream state, where everything's just perfect. They believe truly that's the only way to fix their world. And it reminds me exactly of Baylan. And it's just like so interesting. Because I love stories like that. Where it's like a genuine hard to beat character. Because he wants to do something so difficult.
Yeah. And I mean he's almost like a Thanos type character. Because he just wants to destroy everything. Yeah, dude. Especially I have some recency bias because I just finished a rewatch like days ago. But I really like the Ahsoka series. I really do. I think
Obi-Wan Kenobi's better.
Oh, that's a hot take for me. I think that's a hot take. Yikes.
Just slightly better, man.
Really?
I am an Obi-Wan Glazer, though. I am a simp for Ewan McGregor.
As you should be. I, too, am. Obi-Wan's my favorite Jedi.
That's a spicy take.
Why? Who's your favorite Jedi?
You're not going to like it.
Who's your favorite Jedi?
Mace Windu.
Okay, but that's another topic I think we need to discuss.
No,
Mace Windu?
I have two. Jedi Revan and Mace Windu, and there's a very specific reason for that.
Keanu Reeves should play Darth Revan?
Just stop talking.
Keanu Reeves as Darth Revan? I do think the Mace Windu hate is way out of line.
Whoa, people hate on him?
All the time. Everyone's like, Mace Windu was so mean to Anakin. Mace Windu's an asshole. Mace Windu's a poopy caca head. I'm like, dude, Mace Windu knew what needed to be done and was willing to make the difficult decisions.
Him and Yoda are on the same intellectual level.
Now that's a hot take.
I think they are. They both knew what was happening. I really think Mace Windu could have killed Anakin.
Mace Windu was the only one that knew Palpatine had to die. Like, there was no, he needs to go through the trial. No, bro. He's evil. He needs to die.
Dude, I just thought of something. So, I feel like Yoda is the brain. Like, I feel like they're like a really close character. Like, both of them are very similar.
Well, Mace Windu is essentially the second in command of the Jedi Order.
Yeah, in my opinion. Like, that's why I'm saying that. Yoda's the smartest. He's smarter than Windu. I said they were on like the same intellectual level. Very, very close. So around the same. I'm rounding.
Bro's measuring power levels
What if you just didn't interrupt me, Tom?
He's measuring power levels, guys.
Tier list.
Tier list.
So, I think that Mace Windu is just the hand that Yoda couldn't be because he's stronger than Yoda physically.
No.
I'm kidding.
No.
He's better than combat.
You said yes. Okay, I do.
Because obviously Yoda has to do like flips and sit. He's older too.
Yoda's stronger in the Force, but I think Mace Windu would win in an arm wrestle.
That's what I meant. Like not. Okay. Yoda's the strongest.
Mace Windu is like younger and spry.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, and Yoda could not defeat Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith, but Mace Windu could.
Yeah, literally, it's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay,
you know what I mean.
Wait. You're cooking now.
You're
cooking now.
Some of my words aren't coming out correctly. Forgive me, I'm stupid. My mom calls me special. But you guys know what I mean. Like, they really could. If both of them fought Palpatine, he would have died in the first 5 seconds. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, man. I I do think Windu...
Because Yoda just doesn't have the lightsaber ability that Windu does, and Windu is very, very close with Force ability to Yoda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually would agree with you. At first, when you were talking, I was like, yeah, Buddy is not cooking right now at all.
You just need to let me say everything, because when I say something, it sounds dumb until I explain what I'm talking about. If you play Xbox with me, you know.
Logan's also schizophrenic when we play Xbox, too.
That's a topic for another day. We're on the Star Wars topic.
If you want to play Xbox... you should hit me up on social media because we do play Battlefront 2 quite frequently.
And lose every single game.
Yeah. Let me rephrase that. Absolutely get stomped on and lose every single match that we play in Battlefront 2. And it's only one person's fault.
But it's the conversation.
His name starts with an H and ends with Hybrid Toy Reviews.
Hybrid's catching strays on my episode, dude. What happened? We were supposed to be talking about Let me get back on the sequel train, because I really wanted to talk about this. This was the main thing.
He's going to start yapping.
I already went on the Force Awakens thing. You guys already know I think it's an amazing movie. I think it might be in my top 5 ever. The Last Jedi. This little boy right here is not going to like it. It's a bad movie. It's not a good movie.
I love Last Jedi, dude.
You also like Holdo.
I do not like Holdo.
Even at my young age, I hated Holdo so much, but I liked every other aspect of the movie except the final parts.
Buddy's just making stuff up right now.
What if you hush up because it's my episode? It's your channel, but it's my episode.
My podcast, my rules.
My battle, your war.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So, okay, for the record, though,
out.
I do not particularly like Vice Admiral Holdo.
That's not true. He likes her. He likes her. Yeah, dude.
I love you.
Yeah, look at this. He loves the most hated character in Star Wars. I think she's on the level of one of the worst characters ever created.
But would you bully the actress that plays her, though?
No, I would never.
Oh, okay, so, okay. Do continue.
Actually, I think it should have been canceled.
Actually, if it would have been Sydney Sweeney playing Vice Admiral Holdo, I would have been okay with it.
Madeline Klein. Becky Hill. So anyway, guys, the movie had so many good chances, and it started out really good. And then everything else happened. I think Rose Tico is my most hated Star Wars character. She made one of the worst decisions by not letting Finn die. That would have been such a good end to his story. He leaves the First Order and then screws them over ultimately. That is one of the best stories they could have written for him. And they could have had a really good story written for Rey, too.
I also really hated that moment, by the way, when she stops him from dying.
Good.
And saving the
I
whole
love
system.
you. I didn't want you to die.
We don't win by fighting what we hate. We win by saving what we love.
Let's go hug a tree.
Dude. And The Rise of Skywalker. That's all I gotta say about it, guys.
It's a movie.
It was a disappointment. I will say that.
It's a movie.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Okay, I will say, over time, I've definitely lessened on my enjoyment of that movie, but I do remember when I saw it in theaters, I saw it multiple times, I really enjoyed it. Like, I was like, oh, this is a fun Star Wars movie. But, I don't...
Dude, Palpatine hooked up to the Stephen Hawking chair, dude.
That's dastardly.
Can that stay in?
Yes, that's fine. Okay, but what I will say is I want to get your thoughts on this. So overall, you're a fan of the first movie of the trilogy that you grew up with.
Oh, 100%.
Not a fan of the second one, and you just don't really care one way or the other.
It got progressively worse, I will say.
Okay, so you think...
I think Force Awakens is one of the best Star Wars movies. In my opinion, guys, don't send hate. It's my top 5, maybe even my top 3.
So you think Rise of Skywalker is worse than Last Jedi?
100%.
Okay, okay, interesting.
1,000,000%. I think that movie was just the most weird. It was just a boogaloo of random stuff, dude. You literally cannot tell me that's a real movie.
Boogaloo is a crazy word. What is this? 1930s? Anyways. No. So I want to get your thoughts. how do you feel about then that like all these series that are coming out are working to kind of fill in holes?
Well, they're all
from
terrible
the
because Hayden
movies?
Christensen's in them.
It's not what I'm talking about. How do you feel about shows like The Book of Boba, The Mandalorian, The Bad Batch, kind of working to fill in some of the holes that the sequel trilogy
That's
left?
always been one of my biggest gripes with Star Wars when I started watching it. Prior to any of these shows, prior to Disney Plus existing, that nothing was filled in. It seemed that there was always big time jumps, which I get. That's how movies normally work.
So you should be a little bit more like continuous.
I'm very happy with how these shows have been doing it. Even though I don't like most of them, even like The Acolyte, it's been filling in questions I've had, so I have less questions that I can just enjoy Star Wars for what it is, and it adds to the lore.
Yeah.
Plagueis being EDP.
Fair. Plagueis just...
Oh, and dude, you gotta ask me a top 5 movies. You're gonna be... It's a little spicy.
All right. We'll get to that.
Has a little kick.
I do want to say, though, that I like what they're doing with the series where they're kind of filling in the gaps so that everything kind of bridges together when we do get to the sequel trilogy.
Yes.
Because that worked with the prequels with the Clone Wars show.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
The biggest questions I've had was what happened immediately after the Empire got created.
Yeah.
And immediately after, like, the Empire gets destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the fillings in between, like, all the goodness, like the jelly and the donut. It has always been my biggest questions. And with, like, all these shows coming out, it's made me so happy. Especially, like, Andor. I just finished that show. Because when I started watching...
Buddy never watched Andor. He was an Andor despiser until about
Andor
1 month ago.
Enjoyer! You guys gotta understand that show.
Bro, I'm falling asleep when I try to watch Andor, bro.
Literally.
I can't watch that show. I fall asleep
It
when
was
I
a
watch
tough
it.
watch until they get to the one, like, damn arc.
He did
or
not
whatever it is.
have enough wrinkles in his brain to appreciate Andor.
I have gained those wrinkles. And on my forehead.
Yeah, there you go.
I've always had wrinkles on my forehead. What are we talking about? We need to stay on topic on, like, another show.
Shots fired! Get down! Get down! Shots fired! Should I go record outside and let the birds chirp? All right.
Dude, that is way too obvious.
Skibbity! All right, back on topic.
He drank a Grimace shake before the show, guys.
Someone did. Anyway, Andor. You said you've watched Andor now.
Great show.
Great show. That was it. That was your whole point.
Just a good show. It's very solid, very good show. There's nothing else to it. No hates, no extra loves. Like, you know what? My extra love, I glaze Andy Serkis because I love Planet of the Apes. Very happy to see him, dude.
Fire.
He is such a good actor. And if you haven't seen those Planet of the Apes movies, watch those now. Not the OG ones.
No, not the OG ones.
Those are poopy butthole.
So, was
You
there
just
any?
blanked?
I did.
Ask me my movies, bro.
Dude,
I've been waiting.
all right. You said you wanted to share your top 5 Star Wars movies.
Because they're interesting, and then I'll do my top 5 shows. Actually, no, just top 3 shows because there's not that many.
Okay, give me your top 5 Star Wars movies.
Revenge
Is
of the
this
Sith.
in order?
Yeah, I'm going from 1 to 5.
Number 1,
Revenge of the Sith.
number 2.
I gotta think, man. I'm just kidding. Rogue One.
3.
Phantom Menace.
Oh wow. Okay, 4.
Attack of the Clones will not be on here, guys. I'm just warning you.
Oh, I thought you were saying Attack
No.
of the Clones.
Return of the Jedi.
5.
5 is the spicy one, guys. You're not gonna like Force Awakens.
You want to hear my top 5?
Sure, it's gonna be terrible.
Number 1, Rogue One. Number 2.
Wait, did I say Rogue One?
Yeah, you said it was your number 2.
Good. 'Cause I don't know what I.
Rogue One's my
said.
number 1. My number 2 is probably A New Hope. My
Ew.
number 3 is Revenge of the Sith. My number 4 is Last Jedi. And number
Dude went from the bottom of his list. He started at -1, and he's going to -5 right now.
And then number 5, I would have to think about. Probably.
He's gonna say Rise of Skywalker, guys.
Probably.
You gonna spit it out?
No, I don't know. It's. I have to really think about that.
You look like Watto.
Probably Phantom Menace. Yeah, there you go. Here's my top 5. Give me your top 3 shows.
Okay. You guys are not gonna like this. I'm gonna catch a lot of heat. Rebels at number 1.
Okay, that's actually that's valid.
I'm counting every single show ever created.
I can respect that.
Clone Wars 2.
Okay, that's
Bad Batch 3.
Okay. Oh, animation is Bad Batch is criminally underrated.
The Bad Batch is better
series.
than everything. I think The Mandalorian is different because it's like it didn't hit the spot like that Bad Batch did. I didn't cry when watching it. It was just a whole new thing. It wasn't a continuation of something we never saw.
Yeah, new characters.
Yeah, it was different because that show is just like we all know it's amazing, but it's not comparable to those 3. Not in any world.
Wow, that's a hot take.
Well, I think it's comparable to Bad Batch actually. But I think Clone Wars and Rebels are miles ahead of them.
I think I appreciate Bad Batch a lot more than most people because having grown up with the Clone Wars, the clones mean so much to me. I mean, I said it last week on the podcast. The channel mascot is a clone trooper. Like it's, I'm king of the cloners. Like
I just started laughing, dude.
what?
I can't say it.
You can't say it.
It's a bad word.
So the clones have always meant a lot to me. So to see specifically what happens to the clones and how they were treated by the Empire, and then eventually they do get to free themselves from Mount Tantus, that means a lot to me. So for me, that show is great.
Yeah. I think I just really want some of that mix that they have.
Oh, Mantel mix?
Yeah, Mantel mix. Dude,
Yeah.
You can't tell me that looks fire.
It does. It's probably some
You can't tell me it doesn't look fire. I don't know what I'm talking
goated
about.
popcorn, dude.
It ain't popcorn.
It is totally popcorn.
It's like kettle corn.
Kettle, that's what I mean. Like goated,
Yeah.
like really good, yeah.
But I don't like kettle corn, but I think it looks better.
Okay.
That's a hot take, too.
What do you imagine Mantel mix tastes like?
Womp rats.
You from Springfield, Ohio or something?
No! You can't say this!
That's a joke. That's a joke.
Nothing happened in Springfield, Ohio. Very nice place, I tell ya.
Just ask Hybrid Toy Reviews, the king of Ohio.
Do not talk to him. Do not even go in a mile radius of that man.
Yeah, so, well, I guess one more thing to talk about here. Did you have any other Star Wars opinions you wanted to talk about?
I gotta think about it.
Because this is really, I mean, you'll probably be a regular
real
guest
quick.
on this podcast.
Phantom Menace really needs to be loved more. And I know I'm only saying that. I've, liked Phantom Menace more because I got to see it in theaters. I also haven't seen it in a long time since I watched it in the theater. I mean, it's also just, a solid movie. When I think of Star Wars, I think of that movie. Not even Revenge of the Sith first. I think of that movie.
Interesting.
It's an interesting take, but I love it. Also,
Yes, I take on a bongo to the planet core.
Yeah, I like Phantom Menace a lot, and it's been cool. They've been making a lot of merch for Phantom Menace for its 25th anniversary this year. I've been enjoying that a lot.
isn't Revenge of the Sith's anniversary coming up?
Revenge of the Sith turns 20 years old in 2025.
So guys, when it comes into theaters, I'm edging in the theaters.
Bro.
I mean, guys. For the younger audience.
Mewing the skibbity.
For the younger audience, I will be doing people's edges like hair.
Oh, right. So other than that, you think you're good. You're going to be a regular guest on this podcast.
Oh, I already know that. You need to get Dad on here too.
I know.
Guys, Commander Bly, he's not a Sixer. He does not like Sixers. He calls us Barbie doll collectors. So just be prepared for his terrible takes. And he glazes the OT, but he doesn't hate everything else.
Yeah.
Ask him about the Acolyte.
Ask him about the Acolyte. He loves the Acolyte. My dad, our dad loves the Acolyte. He loves it.
Yeah, dude.
Just wait until he finds out about the special action figure that I pre-ordered for him. It's supposed to show up in February.
He might commit some war crimes.
He might just commit grand arson when that package arrives.
No!
So, just some cool stuff. You guys are going to be seeing Cheesy Napkin a lot on the channel because ICC-Con's coming up in the beginning of October.
Yeah!
How hyped are you for that?
Warwick Davis, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, Warwick Davis.
Papa Davis.
Logan's getting a signature, an autograph from Warwick.
Real quick, I'm not gonna spend like 80 minutes talking about this. He was the only one that really surprised me. Out of all like the... I'm not gonna hate on it. Mike Havens is a very good guy. You got some artists that nobody cares about, dude.
That's great.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like, you got a lot of cool people, but, like, the artists, it's like, I can see how you want to get, like, the older audience with those. But as someone like me who would be going, I don't care about them.
Okay, let me give you a little perspective, though. So he does, like, a theme for his guests.
You're saving your channel right now?
No. I don't care. It's your opinion. But I'm trying to give you some perspective, some context is probably a better word. So he does a theme for his guests every year.
Yeah.
This year's theme was like X-Wing pilots, and because you got like Wedge, Biggs,
Yeah.
Dak Ralter, like, you know, just a bunch of Gold Leader.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, you get some OT characters in there because his con started because he has 27 Facebook groups that he runs for collecting
videos.
Yeah, for just collecting the OG Star Wars products. Mm-hmm. So that's
and he's
why
a fellow Boba Fett lover.
Another theme this year was getting people who designed the Kenner Star Wars toys to come to the con.
Which is cool, and I can understand why you would want them.
It's just, to me, not as cool as having, like, the Rebels crew.
Yeah, like, watch next year, they get, like, the most amazing guests.
We're going again next year.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to make this an annual trip, bro.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. But yeah, Warwick Davis is just, like, he's a big name.
Yeah.
He's a very, like, obviously not as big as, like, Billy D. Williams. Like, that's a whole different conversation, because we are not going to talk about why we are not getting him.
His autograph is $325.
And that's all we're going to say.
And that's what his agent, like, charges. Which I
can understand. He's getting older. It's probably one of his last cons ever.
Yeah, this is probably one of the last ones he's ever going to do.
And we'll still get to see his face, most likely.
Yeah. Which
is cool. You get to be in the same environment as one of the biggest characters ever.
Yeah.
But, like, Warwick Davis is more of an affordable price, and I care more about him. Like,
yeah.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, obviously I'm a Lando main in Battlefront 2. Don't listen to Hunter when he tells you I suck as him. I'm better than him on any hero in that game.
That's a lie.
When he drops the bubble shield right in front of all your bullets.
He's going to be coming for your neck.
There's been so many shots
fired, dude.
Him and Hybrid. We're Hybrid, though.
And other people, too, but...
We do not say their names. No. They are banished.
Voldemort status.
But yeah, like I was saying, like Warwick Davis is just like, I've always known him for some reason. I don't even know why. It's just like, he's an Ewok. That's all you gotta say. He's an Ewok, and he's cool. Like, he just got me excited, man. I mean, like,
the real short king.
Yeah, you're like the Walmart version of him, dude. You're the up and up.
The up and up version. The marketplace version.
Well, we're cutting a pretty big time, so... And I got nothing else to talk about.
We're probably at about 55 minutes right now, so that's a pretty good...
If you want to wrap it up eventually, I mean...
Yeah, look at this guy. He comes as a guest on my podcast. Dream guest on my podcast? And then he tells me when the episode's over. Get a load of this guy.
You did not...
So if you want to, we're going to be at ICC-Con. I just ordered some business cards for Blitz transmissions for ICC-Con. Hopefully they get delivered. It says at the latest they'll be here by October 1st, which is the day before we're leaving to go to Nashville. But they're probably supposed to show up like end of September. So fingers crossed they'll get here before we go down there. ICC-Con's going to be great if you guys are going down to Nashville. We highly recommend checking out ICC-Con.
Yep.
And going down there, you can meet us and pretty much every other like Black Series YouTuber.
Literally.
of importance is.
Isn't
gonna
Out of
be
the
there.
Basement going?
Nate and Justin from Out of the Basement, Mike Case, Zach from Black Series Cantina, Wilbon, Mr. Coffee, and Zoo Boy from Monday Night Figure Ball.
Our king, Wilbon, if you will.
Will Bald.
Dude, Will Bald will be one of the best things ever. Let's touch weak ways.
212 Hunter, Hybrid Toy Reviews, Skywalker Hendrix, Lukeness Monster. Everyone's going to be there. Grand Moff Tony.
I don't know who that is.
He's British. So everyone's going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun if you want to meet a lot of people. So make sure to hit me up if you're going down there. We can hang out.
Hybrid Toy Reviews will also be there. Like I said, mile radius.
Logan, you gave us your top Star Wars movie.
Oh,
Give
yeah.
us your top Star Wars show. Who's your favorite Star Wars character?
It's tough, man. I mean, I separate them because I know people don't like him enough. One of my favorites, he's my honorable mention, Malgus.
Okay.
He doesn't get enough love. He's just cool. That's it. He's just cool.
And you have his action figure, too.
I have all of his action figures, as I can
That's
think.
true. I think those are
I
the
have
only
the 3
two.
3/4 inch, and I have the Black Series. Thank you, by the way. That figure is amazing. It is like Hot Toy level face sculpt.
Speaking of Hot Toys, I just paid my shipping for my Hot Toys.
Yeah, we get it. You're
Thrawn.
rich. Whatever.
Skibbity! Tell me your favorite.
Rich flexer.
Tell me your favorite Star Wars character.
That's tough, man. I've been thinking Yoda might be my favorite.
Yoda. That's a good one.
It's a little bit of a basic answer. Like, people normally would just like, what's your favorite Star Wars character? Oh, the little green guy, Yoda. I like to think
Baby
of...
Yoda? Baby Yoda?
Dude. But, like, I just, like, love him. He's such a good character.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch everything that Yoda's in, don't watch Rebels Yoda. That is a very... He looks like...
Nightmare.
Dude, he is my sleep paralysis demon. But he's just like, I mean, all I have to say, Clone Wars Yoda arc, where he does that, like, weird, like, acid trip. Or whatever it is. Like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It is so entertaining. It's, like, really... Also, he's just, like, awesome, because you get to learn why he's the strongest. And, like, why his species, you learned over time, are strong in the Force, and we still don't even know much about them, which makes me, like him more. But, like, I feel like a less enjoyed character... People are going to disagree with me on this one. Heavy.
Oh, that's a very underrated favorite. Yeah.
Heavy, I remember watching him just die. I wanted to cry.
That was
He
a
had
hard one.
so much potential. And Hardcase, those are my favorites. You'll notice I have not a hot spot. We're not talking about phones.
I thought you were going to say like a hard on. I was like, dude, what?
Thomas James Tuig III. Let's keep it appropriate.
Bro, drop my government name.
What are they going to do?
Public information anyway.
Logan Michael Tuig.
Bro.
It's equal now.
Anyways, so yeah. Is there anything else you want to tell everyone before you're done on the
I was just
podcast?
I have, like, a special place in my heart for all, like, the big characters, like the heavy gun characters.
Yeah.
Not even just because I'm, like, an idiot and I'm like, ooh, I like heavy gun explosion. Like, it's just, like, they all have so much heart for the character that they're not supposed to be. Like, Hardcase, his sacrifice, it was like, you would never expect that from him.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, I know it's Halo talk. Halo reached George. Hunter disagrees. He's like, noble six. But...
Oh, yeah, the one you play as?
Oh, yeah. Final Stand is really cool. I'm really...
He's me for real. Literally.
Really unique take. But, like, they're all just awesome. They all seem to go out with a bang, like, literally an explosion. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Or it's like, they just have so much heart for the character. Like I said, they have more emotion than some of the characters that are supposed to be the most emotional.
Yeah.
That's why I love Wrecker. Nice. And that's why your favorite character's dead.
Anyways, guys, That's going to wrap it up for episode 2
Yeah.
of the Blitzcast. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you were able to tolerate Logan for about an hour's time. He will be back, so just
You
fair
have to tolerate
warning.
me more.
This has been Star Wars through the eyes of a 14-year-old. Yeah, again, just make sure to check out all my links in the description for the Discord and the Instagrams. And as episodes come out, my link tree will grow and we'll have more stuff in there.
Destroy that subscribe button and keep it up with the viewership, man. We have noticed, I have noticed too. Now I'm a part of this universe. We have noticed how many views, and it's just very nice to know that like you guys love and enjoy the content that's being produced as much as like I do or like our friends do. Like it's nice to know there's so many other people with like similar mindsets.
Yeah, similar enjoyment.
Yes. And the occasional hate comment, but we don't talk about that.
Gotta love it. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for checking out Blitz Transmissions. Subscribe if you're new, and we'll catch you on the next one. May the Force be with you.
Bye!
Yeah! Skibidi.